Welcome back, everyone, to Sanity Lost, where things be happening. But, hey, if you guys listened to the last episode, I gave a... You know what, I think I did this like 2 episodes ago, and I don't remember what I said I was going to talk about in the next episode, so I should just keep this in like when we batch record. But I was going to complain about some books.
Yes, you were.
This
I'm
seems
ready.
like the perfect time because... Like, everyone is just in a real chill mood. No tension-bearing things. No loose story ends. No, well, should we not done what thing we should... There's none of that happening right now.
That's all fine.
Hey, that's not fair. You were not supposed to be listening to that conversation.
I listened to all the conversations.
So Stormlight's just
Your
not your
camera
thing,
was off.
So Stormlight's
What?
just not your thing, eh?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. The Stormlight Chronicles. So,
Spoiler.
the first book... Yeah, okay, there's going to be a little bit of spoilers, okay? So...
I don't know anything about these.
So Brandon Sanderson has, I think it's his new series or his newest series called the Stormlight Chronicles.
Fairly new.
Yeah, I think the 4th book just came out 2020, and then I think there's like 3 more. And yeah, the Stormlight Archive. And I've read The Way of Kings, whatever the second one is, and I just finished Oathbreaker. And they're really well written, and I really like the guy is very talented in writing, and I'm really like I was digging it. The thing is like I really hate every character except for like one in this whole series. And like the problem is it's like the whole point is like the way they get their magic is like pretty much just it's definitely by design because it's by the writer, but it's just like these characters are traumatized by certain things in the past, but it's like from that trauma is how they get like their magical powers that they have by making like promises and oaths with like these spirits. And then and so it's interesting, except like it feels like I just finished the 3rd book, and the things that are still bothering some of the characters from book 1 that they're like, okay, like I understand, like, yeah, there's no one's gonna have like a perfect journey. There's always gonna be like going back to certain things, but it feels like there is no actual character growth. Even though like, okay, I see the importance in that, and then it's always like, oh no, never mind. So
That is frustrating.
yeah, because like I totally understand. Like there are like growth and like especially with that and like mental trauma and everything like that does take time. But it's like you are writing a fantasy story, and it's like and it seems like okay, there's like these really neat things that like the character is doing, and then it's like, ugh. It just like kind of stops, and I'm just like, and then I read a review of like the 4th book, which I was like, I need to take a break from this series, and they're like, hey, this is just more and more like these characters are still dealing with the same issues, and it's just constantly over and over and over and over. So I'm like, I need to take a break from this.
I feel like
I do think
you end up running it like I don't know, especially in the fantasy genre, but like authors that are like, I'm going to make this like continuing epic that goes on for books and books and books. It's like they always start out really great, and then you can tell like they run out of steam, but they want to make this like, you know, huge legacy story, and so they like just keep pushing on, or they give it up entirely. Like
Yep,
Martin,
I know you're talking about.
or what's his face?
Lord of the Rings. So my
No,
goodness,
or,
it just ends.
What about
The Winds of, or the
Game
what
of
is
no
it?
the guy from Ack Inc.
Yeah, what's his
Rothfuss.
Yeah, Rothfuss.
Rothfuss.
Yeah, so like you
What's his
either
first
get
name?
like authors that like finish it and like kind of just run it into the ground to the point where it's like you can tell they've run out of ideas, or they run out of ideas, quit writing it, and then will never admit to it.
Or
I
then
also
you,
think sometimes. Oh, go ahead.
then you have other authors that start an epic series like that and then just die halfway through it.
Yeah, that's true. That
Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan
Yeah.
died with 3... Well, with what was
at least Sanderson
expected to be
finished them,
one
but-
book, but
Yeah.
Sanderson finished
Yeah.
the series, which is how I.
Well, he
know
also has, like-
Sanderson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me
It's
too.
like-
yeah.
I feel like there's like I think I saw something where he like wrote like 4 other books that are coming out this year, and I'm like, you could just focus on the one.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
But-
They spread across like too many like ideas, and it's like, or they try and
Yeah.
make them too long. Like make some of the, like if you have all these deep ideas, make them smaller little stories, maybe within a bigger universe. But that way you're not spreading out the same characters over like 20 books, because
yeah.
unless you're
But-
really good at character development, like you're gonna hit a wall at some point.
Yeah, like the thing is, like I gotta hand it to him because he is a successful author. He does have many books out. I know the
Yep.
Mistborn series people love. Never read it.
Yeah, I read the first one maybe 6 months ago, and it was really good. I really liked it. I need to get
yeah.
into the
I've
second
read-
one, but
I have enjoyed the Mistborn series. There's the Skyward series is pretty good from, in my opinion. The Alcatraz Librarian series is really fun series as well. That goes very, very fast.
Yeah. So like I don't know, maybe because I thought I heard people say it's supposed to be 7 books, and so maybe by book 5, 6, and 7 things will change. I will say in that whole series, I really like Dalinar's character. Like he is like this old man that's seen some trash, and then like he's like, okay, I know I need to change, and his journey, it's like it feels like because like he has a focus, but it's just like it's always like on and off a little bit. But like the third book is a lot of like his character growth and his backstory and everything, and like I could understand if each book was like focused on a different character, which it sort of does, but then it's like I feel like with Oathbringer when it finishes, it's like Dalinar's journey, like he still has work to do, which is like understandable, but it's just like there's such a clear thing where he's just like, I know what my purpose is now, and it could just be something comes with wisdom because like the other 2 characters are like 19 years old, and so, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I think I just need to give some time. I will say, I started reading this other book, which I was at the beginning. I'm like, what is this book about? And then I'm like, I got to the part. I'm like, well, then this is pretty good. It's called Blood Music, by I
interesting.
think Greg Bear or something like that. It is. I'll look it up. No, I'm not enjoying Audible. Stop asking me. Yeah, Greg Bear. So that's a
hate
lie.
it.
I really do like Audible. So
Not sponsored
yeah.
yet.
So yeah, this whole series, this one book, it's like when I first heard it, things like, hey, if you like Dead Space, you'll really like this book. And I'm like, all right. And then I forgot that Dead Space came out yesterday. And so like I started listening to it, and then I'm like, I think I even said it while I was playing the Dead Space remake. Really good remake, by the way. I'm like, man, this was a good time to start reading this book. And they're like, I don't know, this isn't really a spoiler because it happens within the first couple chapters. It's just like this super scientist, like, not super scientist, this guy who's just really smart just starts like messing around with like this bacteria and then gives them intelligence.
Oh.
And so, and like he's like, oh, this is interesting. And then like pretty much the group that he's working with finds out and are just like, what the heck? And just kicks him out. Like, and he's like, you have to destroy all your stuff. It's because he was going around he was trying to like trade it outside the company because he's like, these guys don't deserve it. And so that's why they got rid of him. And he decides to be like, well, I'm not losing all my research. So he has his notes and everything. And like he has some samples, and so he injects himself with it in hope that he can get into another lab to get out of it. And throughout the course, it starts like changing him. And so,
Of course it does.
yeah, and very much I think 3/4 of the people here played Dead Space.
I've
But,
watched Dead Space.
watched it. Yeah. So, like, a little spoiler for Dead Space, like when the marker starts whispering and stuff, like to Isaac and other stuff, it's and other people, like the virus does that, like because it's able to communicate once it gets to a certain part, and it's like whispering, just like, yeah, just trust us, it's okay, just do this, and it's just like, I'm like, that's stupid things like the marker. So
I
real
just
good book.
remember later in the Dead Space series the constant make us whole, make us whole.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll make you a hole. Throw a stinking saw blade at your face. But yes,
But there's a
They
song on
deserved
it,
it.
you know.
look, if they're gonna have babies that like bring out little turrets out of their butt, I'm gonna shoot it with a chain blade. Out of context to anyone that didn't hear that we're talking about Dead Space. Don't put me on a list. I can do that all by myself. So yes, the Stormlight Archive, I'm not digging. I think I'm also getting series fatigue as last year I finished the Lord of the Rings series, went right into R.F. Kuang's series, and I'm forgetting what it's called. It's like Burning God or something like that. That was a really good series. And then from there, I think I read like one or two other things. I could look it up when I'm lazy. And then from there, I went into like these epics of the books, and I'm just like, oof. So
I do think sometimes you have to like take a break on like an individual, right? Like just a one fully contained novel. And just like do the one thing and be done.
yeah, R.F. Kuang's series. Okay, now I'm just gonna look it up because it's good. I will say like it's a series that like it kind of goes into the same kind of thing where yeah, that is the Poppy War. That's the first one.
Okay.
By the third book, I'm like, I've heard how angry this child is. Can we move on? But it's like but it like it's like this her journey, and it's just like there's so many times I'm like, you would just chill out and talk, and she's like, no, because and then I like it. So yeah, that's what I did last year was The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. First I read Hyperion. That's a real good book. Then did Lord of the Rings, then the Poppy War trilogy, and then I took a little break with 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. If you guys want a murder mystery with a little bit of supernatural garbage, that's a real good book. It is. I will. And if you guys listen to audio books, Stuart Turton, good. It's real good.
All right.
I think it's if people if you like that book, I would say try. Oh, now I'm forgetting the name of the video game, but there's a indie video game that it is like one of my favorite indie games that I'm going to quick scroll through, see if I can find it in like a couple seconds. But yeah, that game is really fun. I can't find it because I'm scrolling too fast. But
Our
but anyway.
podcast is now officially a recommendations podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yep. For anyone that it was expecting this to be the continuation off that cliffhanger from last episode, surprise, this
Nope.
is not going to be that episode.
We're just talking about books and movies and games, and we've done a hard pivot here. Too scary. It was too scary.
Yeah, Elizabeth kept complaining to me about
This
it.
is not a filler episode.
Yeah. this is actually a highlight episode.
We're
so
not avoiding anything.
This is a clip show, guys. We're going to now
Sanity Lost reacts to the
There we go.
previous events.
I was joking with somebody. I can't remember what it was, but I'm like, it would be hilarious. And I know I heard this on a different podcast where they're just like, they made their show and they're like the second episode. They're like, okay, guys, we're going to do a clip show with the first episode. And it's just like all the highlights. But okay, I'll have to. Oh man, I'm trying to remember what it is, but my brain. I know who made it. It's like Tequila Games or something. But
It's okay.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. But yeah, if you like that book, they go from there. And then after that, I read another really good book, which was How Far in the Stars We Shall Go. And then I read the Stormlight Chronicles. But you know what we're also going to read? These nitty-gritty contracts that are done by Magic. Because Magic is the best thing. So yeah, let's do this. I think it was this song. There we go. Little creep town time. As Cora, we see the camera just kind of zoom out from like this handshake of Uncle Buster, pretty much like, all right, let's do it, and holds out his other hand. Caleb like nods to Cora as Cora goes to hand the mask into Uncle Buster's hand. As you are about to let go, you feel like this like loosening grip on your like mind. Like it's not like, it just feels like this thing of that's holding on to you that is just slowly like kind of like tape, like duct tape being like slowly ripped off of a surface. That's what it feels like on your mind.
Ugh, I don't like that.
As this like thing comes by and it's just like, and you just hear just like, next time, as this like whisper kind of just dwindles away, and like you felt like this compulsion for like almost a second, like I should put this mask on before shoving it away and handing it to Uncle Buster. And he's like, all right, a deal's a deal. Let him go, boys. Begin packing it up. And the clowns just like begin tearing down the tents and putting it away. And the town people look super confused and just like, Uncle Buster looks at all of them and is like, these good people let you go. And trust me, you will never see me again. Because I am leaving this piece of trash town. This state is... We're going back to New York, boys. And like you just hear like the clowns just like, oh yeah, okay. And like as they're kind of just talking with each other and as they begin packing up and everyone's beginning packing up, and the people all look very, very confused. And Uncle Buster looks to you, Caleb, and just like, you're willing to stay, but it's definitely going to take us a little bit of time to start packing up. As you see, we have a lot of stuff here. So,
I feel like he had mentioned, like, maybe I interpreted this, but I feel like he had like mentioned like either like maybe healing the people, or like, was that part of it too, that like they were gonna start feeling better, or is this just like how they are now?
No,
it's gonna be like undoing whatever it was that captured them, I think, is
what he meant.
How I interpreted it.
He's not healing anybody. Like that was not his intention. Yeah, he's just like kind of like, and some of the people look unsure and everything, and like some people that you don't recognize like look absolutely like still frightened out of their mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cora's just gonna go and like run over. I'm assuming Coco is still holding Timmy.
Oh yeah.
So she's just gonna like run over and like grab him out of Coco's hand and just like, wrap him up in a hug and like shush him and tell him it's okay, and yeah.
Yeah, no, like and Coco, like he kind of holds on for a second, and then like, but like not like difficult. He's just like, and then Toto's just like, let him go, boy. We're done here. And he's like, oh, and like kind of like, and he wasn't like hard like gripping to hurt. It was just more like, oh,
he wasn't
well,
sure.
Yeah, and so he lets him go, and like, and just he kind of goes like this water, and like kind of just grumbles away as they kind of get him to start packing things up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so Cora's very taken up in that. She's probably going to go and try and find her in-laws. And then I guess as she like starts to like calm down now that the immediate danger is done, she'll make her way over to Sheriff Hudson.
All right, Percy, what are you doing?
Percy's still not entirely with it. So I think until somebody like specifically kind of like snaps him back into reality, like he's still just kind of angrily, glowering at everybody, but not really. There's not a whole lot of function going on upstairs.
All right.
He's just frozen.
Kind of, just, yeah. More like instinctual.
Alright. And Caleb, what are you doing?
Caleb's going to be kind of standing there in a bit of a staring contest with Uncle Buster, but keeping an eye on both Cora and Percy as Cora runs off to get Timmy, and maybe sees Percy just kind of a little bit dumbfounded, perhaps, standing there. It's like yells towards Percy to go stick with Cora to keep her safe, and basically I tell Buster that we'll keep an eye on things for a little bit, and then how long do you expect to take to pack up before you're on the road?
Alright, yeah, he's like, it should take us about, I don't know, almost 2 hours. Don't worry, we'll be out of here by nightfall. And it's like, just because it's also been a couple weeks, it's still like midday. It's still like right around,
yeah, kind of early afternoon.
Yeah, it's like a little bit after 12, like 12:30ish, and he's just like, don't worry, we'll be out of here by the end of the day. I keep my promises.
Yeah, I think Caleb is confident that he will keep his promises just by virtue of being part of that contract and feeling the magic settle and everything, but also in that trust but verify and kind of phase, but also wants to keep an eye on his friends. So it's like we're going to keep an eye on you for a little bit, and then we'll be back. We'll be back this evening to make sure that you're gone.
No problem. And the only thing is if we have a flat, but I don't think we have those. I think we checked, but don't worry. We do not plan to overstay our welcome. So
I think Cora, as she's like making her, I think Cora is like feeling a little more grounded, and so as like she's passing people, she's just kind of like comforting them, like you're okay, you have a space here, like it's okay now, it's okay. And I don't know if like how many people from the town are here, because like there was no one in the town. Are they also here?
Yeah, there's like almost like half the town in here.
So I think that's what I figured. So I think like she's looking specifically for some people like the nurse or like the pastor, right? Like people who can like help, and just like touching base with them as she like makes her way over to Sheriff Hudson to try and like start moving. Like she wants people out, like let's get them back to the town, let's get them food, let's figure this out. But ultimately ends up with Sheriff Hudson. I don't know if Percy's with me or not, but ultimately ends up with Sheriff Hudson to like check in on her and make sure that she's okay. And she is like burning with curiosity to just like ask 1,000 questions, but is like holding it all in for now to just like just check in and see where she's at.
Yeah, so she's... I just realized I never start my laundry timer. Oh well. I know what it is off the top of my head. And no, she's like, you can hear her mumbling, just like, where's my gun? Where's my gun? I thought I had my gun. And she like sees you, Cora, and she's like, do you have my gun? Do you know where it was?
Oh no. Is she broken? Oh no.
No, like she's looking, just like, it's like, did I leave it in the office? Did I bring it with me? Do you know where my gun is?
Sheriff Hudson?
Cora,
It's okay.
where is it?
I'm not sure, but we can find it. I'm still like holding to me.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you need it?
This is more me wondering because I can't remember if she had it or not. So.
I mean, I'm sure she did.
I don't remember if she left it in the car or at the office or not.
Yeah, I'm drawing a complete blank, and I forgot to write it down if she had it on her or not.
I don't remember you saying it.
Okay. Oh, well, you guys can roll your luck, and I'm going to roll a luck roll myself to remember, because I think we do this every time.
Shoot someone.
Well, she's gonna find out if she has her gun.
I do not gain more luck, both because I rolled 37 under 58. But I've been using a secondary D10 to just roll all of them at the same time, and that one came up with a 0, which I guess that would add 10 if I actually did.
That would be a 10.
Yeah.
Never
mind.
Woohoo!
But he didn't.
I'm gonna take it as the 0.
Succeeded.
I'm gonna take the 0 because it was still succeeded anyway.
All right. Well, I got mine this time. Which I needed. Did you fail or pass, Johnny?
So 45 over 33.
There you go.
You get luck.
Get some luck back.
Neat.
So does Sheriff Hudson have her gun?
She does not. I'm also going to do another roll. I'm going to ask one of you guys high or low, and this is going to determine if she left it there or if she had it. And
High.
so yeah, someone say high or low. High?
Yeah, high.
Okay. She's like, I don't know. Did I leave it in the place?
It's okay. It's okay. We're safe. We're safe
No,
now.
you don't understand.
Tell
That is
me.
a very special gun. And so she like almost the same look that maybe you guys like when you think of Sheriff Hudson when you first met her 10 years ago. Like she almost has like that same like wild-eyed like borderline like crazy thing going on. And she goes over to Uncle Buster and like grips him by the collar and just like, do you have my gun? And like Uncle Buster's just like wide-eyed like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. Like it's we're leaving, okay? We're not gonna do anything. We don't have any gun. I promise. And like he looks at the Toto and Coco and Bobo and they're like, no gun, right boys? And they're like, yeah, they're all confused, like, what we're talking about. And she's like, well, if you guys want to hear what she says, because she, like, whispers something, you're going to have to roll a listen check.
Oh, yeah, I want to hear. Absolutely. Because I think Cora probably, like, followed her over.
25 under 32. And I think Caleb
Where's
is probably
my
still
list?
relatively close to Buster at that point anyway.
Oh, okay. Barely, but that's a 43 under 44.
Okay. Percy, are you
Nope,
rolling, or are you
Percy
just-
is still, like I said, until somebody specifically comes and snaps him out of it, Percy is not going to be doing much of anything.
Yep.
Hint, hint.
So Percy
We're just leaving you there.
sort of heard Caleb's yell at him and didn't faze him whatsoever.
Exactly.
Alright. Don't worry, we're going to play this out for a little bit, and then we'll give you a chance. And so, you guys hear something along the lines of, if my gun, so help you, if it. And, like, you just see, like, Uncle Buster's color drain from his face as she just, like, roughly lets him go. It's like, you guys better not be here. Oh, that's not her voice. It's like, you guys better not be here. And then, like, she turns and sees Percy and walks over to Percy and was like, you didn't take my gun, right, boy? Like, and grabs, like, puts her arm on her hand on your shoulder, like, looking you right in the eyes.
I mean, Percy's just kind of, like, mumbling to himself, like, you know, eyes darting around, like, very clearly not with it.
She's like snaps in your face. Percy.
Percy, like, kind of focuses a little bit, and it's just like, no, I don't have your gun.
Okay. And she, like, kind of just saying, okay. And just, like, turns and just, like, looks at Caleb. Hold on, I gotta roll something else for her. And, like, she looks down at your hand. She's just like, you made a promise?
Yeah, I made a deal with Buster to get everybody free.
Details. What was the promise? And you can just, if you just want to recite it to her.
Yeah, I may just kind of give a summary initially of. Like,
yeah.
The
Like,
summary
we don't have to, like, completely role play it again.
Well, yeah, but like he's gonna, like, Buster agreed to let everybody free in exchange for the mask, and that's kind of where he's gonna leave it initially, unless she pushes for more.
And she's like, oh, the mask. Oh, well, we got the people back.
It's the only way I could think of to get everybody free.
No. You did what you had to. Can I trust you to get these people back? I need to go check on something.
Where are we gonna, like, this looks like a whole bunch of people they're not even from our town. What are we gonna do with them?
Bring them to town hall. I'll make a call. Let them know that we found them. Can I trust you with this, Caleb?
Yeah. I'll see if I can snap a couple of people out of the group to help coordinate things too. Because it's gonna take more than just us.
Don't worry. I'll send some of my men up. I just need to check something. And she's like, yeah, if you three just get everyone to City Hall, and yeah, hopefully we'll start figuring out where to send people.
Oh, so. And before the sheriff turns away and all, it's Caleb's gonna say, it's like, oh yeah, Buster's also gonna be out of here within as quickly as they can, and shouldn't be here past this evening.
Well, they better hope so. I'll see you. And she heads off. Like, she's not talking with anybody. She's heading away. And, yeah, shortly after, she's just gone. So.
Right. Cora is so torn. So she had walked up she had followed Hudson over to Buster. So she's gonna make her way over to Percy, but before that, with Buster standing right there, she's holding to me. She like kind of gives him a side eye, and she looks at him and she says, "So you really don't know what that is, do you?"
I know what I need to. And if you excuse me, I'm gonna make sure I uphold my promise. So unless you're ready to make another, I need to get to work. Alright. I look forward to never seeing you people again.
See, here's the thing, Buster. You made a promise with Caleb. I get a sneaky feeling that that mask isn't going to leave you or me alone.
Besides for this little jaunt of a day, well, a couple days, My friend here hasn't left me for the past 5 years.
That's what I mean. Because I know this mask from far before that. I don't think we're done yet. And then Cora walks away. She doesn't, like, if he says something, that's fine, but she doesn't wait for him to respond.
Yeah, he's like, it looks like he's about to say something. You walk away and he's just like, you just see him shrug, just like, whatever. And just starts kind of yelling out commands and everything to like start getting people cleaned up. So
As Cora walks away, Caleb takes another look at Buster and says, "You better hope we never meet again."
you have
Yeah.
my word.
Turns to
And
follow Cora over to Percy.
man, everyone is so rude in this town.
So Cora slowly walks up to Percy, still holding to me, and gently just like puts a hand on his shoulder. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's over.
Percy's still kind of like sort of mumbling to himself. He registers Cora's there, but he's not really like making eye contact. Just kind of, now that like there's not a direct target for like kind of that instinctual rage, he's more just sort of like confused, and so his mind is looking for like some sort of grounding point to latch onto.
What was Percy's insanity again?
I am at 32.
No, I mean the temporary insanity that he ended up with.
The story, it was that he it was like Toto had said something to him.
He had been talking
trust.
about yeah.
Right, yeah.
I had like lost the ability to like trust people around me.
Yeah. So I think Cora is like trying to make eye contact with him, right? Like hand on his like arm, like, hey, look at me. You're okay. We're okay. We did it. We got them back. You did what you were supposed to do. We did it.
Percy kind of like as Cora's talking to her, he kind of focuses on her and kind of starts to kind of come back to reality a little bit. But there's still that confusion there. He basically, everything had left his mind other than kind of that rage at Coco, and then also with the feelings of mistrust that he's stuck with. He's not really quite sure what to believe, so he's hearing Cora, but still kind of looking around, doesn't believe he's safe yet, and so he responds to Cora. He's like, I don't know that I don't think we won. There's got to be a trap. They're gonna pull the rug out from under us at the last minute. We've got to be more careful. You guys aren't paying enough attention.
I know.
As Caleb walks up, he's like, good job with the decoy box there, Percy. I think you bought us enough time, and it's good job. And well, I think we're done with this for the time being.
Percy, acknowledges Caleb came over. He's like, I don't know. I just don't know.
I don't think we're done, but I think we're done today. He has to leave. He vowed on his life, and he's not going to give that up. Not today. We're okay today.
Percy looks over at Uncle Buster, and eyes narrow, and he kind of glowers at him, and he pauses for a second, and says, I know you say that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So I want to know, we're going to kind of fast forward through time here. I want to know what everyone is doing. You guys were told by Sheriff Hudson to escort everyone back, but if you think they can make their own way back and want to watch over the clowns as they pack away, that is totally an option as well. Or split the party, because that's not as big of a deal as it is in some other games. So it is totally up to you guys.
You say that, but I don't think Caleb is accepting the party splitting right now.
So, Cora, what are you doing?
I don't know. I think Cora is more focused on her people. I mean, cares about the townspeople, but also like concerned about her people. So I think kind of similarly to earlier, she would be trying to connect with people she knows she can trust to like organize like the aid, right? So like the doctors and nurses, the pastor, even some people, if there were any from the sheriff's office who were actually there. So I think Cora is more intent on taking care of Percy, making sure her in-laws are okay, checking on Sarah, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like helping people get there. But I don't know that she's gonna be like leading the charge to like lead them out. I think she's like hanging around and making sure everyone gets out.
So like, are you going like not leading, but like kind of helping people get? I'm just making sure I'm understanding.
Yeah,
what
I think
doing.
so. I think Cora's staying on site. Like she's not going to leave until everyone's gone. But not the clowns, but like all of the townspeople.
Okay, yeah. So moving with the townspeople, like, but not leaving any. Okay, yep.
Yeah,
basically,
so be one of the last one there.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I see Caleb too, as being like the tail end of the group is, and finding people out of all of the people to help direct people where they're supposed to go, kind of snapping whoever seems least out of it at that point into enough reality to direct where things go.
Yeah, there's almost like maybe 150 people altogether, and like about a good chunk of that is like people from Centralia. So yeah, there's still some people like all over that you're able to wake themselves up and like kind of help move everyone over. And then Percy, what are you doing?
Percy's probably at this point like kind of sits on a rock or bench or something, just kind of like on the outskirts of the activity, more just trying to like clear his head. Still kind of cloudy there, so not really like making any personal decisions. He's probably going to just kind of at the moment be kind of led around. So yeah, so at the moment just kind of staying off to the side.
Okay, so everyone is kind of moving forward. It takes a little bit of time, but you guys are heading down, and you guys, like, the only person left here still is Percy.
So Cora comes back over. She's like leading Timmy by the hand and like kind of squats down to Percy's level, whatever. And she's like, all right, everyone's safe. We can go.
Go where? Where can we go?
For
Percy.
now, town.
We just have to take the next step. And like it or not, you are part of my family now. And so I'm not leaving you here. And Cora like holds out her hand. Let's go.
Percy takes her hand and lets her, stand him up.
And Cora's gonna start walking towards the town.
Yeah, and Percy just kind of, follows.
Okay. Yeah, so about halfway through your journey back, you guys meet up with the cops that Sheriff Hudson sent up, and they're all led back. You guys, Sheriff Hudson now is out, gun strapped to her side.
Oh,
She looks a lot more like at peace, and she's like kind of is like shouting over a megaphone, and like a person that you guys maybe have not seen too much, but you would have all known is Carl Giuseppe. He is there as well, the mayor of Centralia, as he's just like kind of, yeah, everybody, you come here. We've made calls to the different towns. We're gonna make sure everyone gets home, and like just this like sweaty, overweight man in his like 60s, just like, yep, and just like, even though it's wintertime, he's still like sweating, and he's just like, yep, okay, and like he's just like waddling around helping people out and everything, and that takes a couple hours, and so as things start to be settling down, and I'll ask, is anybody going up and seeing if the clowns are gone? If you guys are all busy, that is fine. If one person is going to sneak away, or two people, that is also fine. Or all three. It is totally up to you.
I think Caleb is going to suggest to Cora and Percy that we go see for ourselves that they have moved on and are on their way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that Cora very easily agrees to that.
Yeah, and since Percy still is kind of in his distrustfulness, like he doesn't, believe anything Uncle Buster says, so he is on board with that as well.
All right.
Caleb is still in the mode where he's not going anywhere without his friends, and they're not going anywhere without him. The party is not splitting up. It's not going to be acceptable to him.
Alrighty. So you guys head back up. It is dark. It's like nightfall. You guys get back up there. Actually, it also would make sense that all three of you guys go up, because I believe Caleb drove the work truck up here, and it's still there.
Oh, we have to go get it.
Yeah, so the work truck is still there, like has not been touched, and it looks like all the tents are gone, and this like giant tent in the center is just like it looks like they're just getting the final things rolled up onto this truck, as Uncle Buster kind of turns around, just like, just seeing if I get my word, huh?
Just trust but verify.
Yep. One thing. You said I didn't know what this mask does, huh? I don't know anything about it, huh?
Seems like it.
Well, let me show you what I know. And he pulls the mask down and stares you all in the eyes. And everyone, you need to make a power check, but it is 30% harder to do so.
No.
I mean, my power check is not great to begin with.
Percy's dying right here. Oh my gosh. I have like decision paralysis. Which dice am I using? 30% harder? What does that mean? How do I do the math on that?
You are going to minus 30 to whatever your power is.
So
lower it by 30.
I mean, my power's 35 anyway.
So you have to hit a 5.
Yeah, and I hit a 47.
Okay.
54
I did it.
20.
Am I the only one that did it? I got a 27 under 30.
Yeah, but you have to... What is your power?
60.
Oh, then, yeah, alright, you made it.
Am I going to watch everyone die? I can't do this.
Alright.
30. Holy. I'm trying to decide if I use luck on this or not. Or can I use luck on this?
I'll give. You got 5 seconds to figure out 4, 3.
I mean, I can.
2,
So I can use luck, right?
What?
Is that okay? I will. I will use my luck on this as feeling part of the magic contract has some level of binding to this as well.
Okay.
I just got to do math here.
But
All right,
you
so
just
he
have
passes.
you
Yeah.
both have regular successes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. You all feel the blood in your veins run cold as your whole body feels stuck. And Percy, you feel like a block of ice. And if you guys try to move, you cannot. As Uncle Buster walks up and he's just like, I think I know what this mask does pretty well. And let me see. Somebody, don't worry, Caleb, I won't break our promise. But what can I say? I do love souvenirs. And he looks at Percy. And he's like, Toto, let's bring him along.
No!
As Toto comes up and he's just like, don't worry, boy, you're gonna love the circus.
No!
As you cannot move. No one can move. And he's just
Can
like,
we talk?
yeah, you can talk, but like you are stuck.
I mean, Cora is just like
Percy
screaming.
cannot talk. Percy cannot talk, though.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Look, I kept my side of the deal. You never said I couldn't, well, bring along a friend.
I mean-
I knew you'd try to find some slippery loophole. This
Hey,
isn't over between us.
You had the chance, and I look forward to never seeing you again. And
This isn't over
they
between
take,
us. I will
no.
find you.
Yeah. Okay. And, hold on, I gotta roll a d10 real quick. Okay. As they take Percy, put him in the back of the truck.
Oh my gosh. Cora's just screaming. I will not scream for the poor people who are listening to this, but just screaming. Like losing her freaking mind, like screaming for help, like cursing at them, like swearing her life to like find and murder Buster. Like she is losing her mind. Losing her mind.
Yeah. And he's just like, it was a pleasure meeting you. And don't worry, looking to Percy, we pull everyone out of the gutter. As the door closes and they drive away. And about 5-ish minutes later, you guys feel like warmth coming back into your body as you gain control of everything.
I think Cora just like slumps to the ground and just starts like sobbing. Like just out of control sobbing.
Caleb will attempt to comfort her, reiterating his promise that he will find Buster and do unspeakable things to him once he does.
Alright. So yeah, that is all happening, and
That is so unfair, Dave. So unfair.
So, yeah, we'll close. We'll close on that as we fade to dark, fade to black, and we see like you guys tell Sheriff Hudson and like we kind of get little snippets of you guys mentioning Sheriff Hudson and making plans, and she's putting out like the search for this road circus between all the different towns, and like weeks, like days turn to weeks and weeks turn to months, as there seems to be no sign of this road circus anywhere in central Pennsylvania. And yeah, that keeps going on, and time passes on as we see like our little year counter kind of click through, and we see changes within the town of Centralia as the mine opens back up and they start digging throughout the mine. We see people kind of readjusting, and the repairs from the clowns start getting fixed. We see a scene of Caleb sending Sarah off to school. If that's okay. If you don't, we can switch that out. I don't want to say what Caleb is or isn't doing.
I mean, I think that works. Since she doesn't have any family at this point, then...
Yep. Like, I just wanted to make sure you were okay with it before just committing it to canon. Yeah, and then we see Timmy also begin to grow up a little bit, as maybe just due to the friendship of Caleb and Cora. They, like, even though there's a slight age gap, I think it's maybe only like between 3 to 4
years.
Yeah.
Because I think
years.
I think Sarah was 6. I think it was said.
I can't remember. I know it was like between 6 to 8, but and Timmy, I can't remember how old he is.
I think he's 2.
Yeah.
Or was 2.
Yeah. So, but like time passes, and like you see those friendships happening and blossoming, and yeah, I want to get a little peek before we come into our next session, which will be in the 1940s. Caleb, what do you do in the time? We'll say within the next 2 to 3 years, besides helping Sarah. Like your temporary insanity kind of dies down a little bit. You
well,
maybe you still have this. Yeah, but maybe you still have, like, I don't want to. What do you do? And what? Like a real quick synopsis.
Caleb is going to be talking to Sheriff Hudson even more forcefully than the prior 10 years, and find some way to convince her that she needs to tell him everything that she knows about the original event, the event that just happened, and all of this magical seeming stuff. And if she, as means to convince her, continuously points to, I don't know if the rune faded or not, but basically continuing to point to that spot on his hand where that rune is or was, as like, listen, I did this for the town. You must bring me in on this. I need to find Percy, and I know we haven't had any luck tracking down the circus so far, but I will find them, and I need a way to deal with them. And basically continuously harassing her until she lets him into that knowledge.
All right. And like, we'll just say maybe it's one day, and like that rune on the back of your hand never goes away. Like, the irritation around the skin seems to heal, but that brand is always there. And like, it's maybe like 2 years after your constant pestering, and she's just like, okay. Caleb, I talked with some people, And I think you're ready to meet this group. How would you like to be part of the Whispers? And we fade to black. Cora, what are you doing in the next couple of years?
So I think Cora turns into a kind of troubled person who's working so hard to hang on to normalcy because her heart is now like fully divided. On the one hand, so protective of her son and making sure that nothing happens to him, making sure that he has kind of this like safe base to live and grow, right? So she's like doing her stuff with the store, she's taking care of him, she's trying to be really stable for him, but also so traumatized by losing Percy and feeling like she could have and should have done something different. So she also continues to I think she's doing a few things. So she like splits her time both between like bugging Sheriff Hudson, but she also throws herself into her own connections within her secret society, sending messages and so she updates her contact on everything that happened. And she's also looking she's trying to spread her reach, right? Because she knew that Buster said that he was going into New York. So she's like trying to make connections through her own way. She's looking for Buster. She's actually still looking for Theodore. Because she knows nothing about him, but like that stuck out to her. And yeah, so during the day, being a mom and trying to hold it together, and then anytime that Timmy is not around, she has just thrown herself into finding out anything that she can. And she is, I think, becoming a little bit unhinged, but spending all of her time and energy just trying to find Percy.
Yeah, and you get like, maybe it's one late night and you see the light turn on that you have a message. And it just says, it's a letter that just says, C, Colin. It is time for training. Stop. Can isn't part of it, but meet in Mount Holly for weekend? ? Stop.
Cora sends back. We'll be there. Stop.
And we'll fade to black. And lastly, Percy, you wake up. You don't know how much time has passed, what is going on, like where you're at. Like, you feel like you're in a fog constantly. You see fire lit up. You don't remember the last time that you have seen the sun. Like, you don't know if it's been a week, a month, years, hours. Time doesn't make sense to you right now. And what I need you to do is roll a spot hidden for me.
That is a 8 under 88.
Okay. You hear, like you see this long, not spindly, but slender man walking in a polka dot suit. Strangely. As he walks past clowns, as he walks past new recruits to the circus, it's almost like no one can see him but you. And he's like, Be prepared, Percival, for time where you are needed may be soon. Don't lose hope. As like he continues to walk forward and then fades away.
Okay.
And so, I'll ask you, what would you like to do?
So, Percival, I mean, based on the condition is in, Mike, he probably doesn't even trust his own senses, so he's not even entirely sure what he saw, if that was even real. How aware am I of, like, what's going on around me?
You see a lot of movement. You see, like, things are definitely moving. You see, like, new people added to the circus, but it's, like, it's weird. Like, their clothing and the way they talk almost seems foreign to you. Like, they're definitely speaking English, and they're definitely wearing clothing that looks like you would wear, but it's almost, like, brighter and, like, and just a little bit more, like, more colorful and, like, nicer looking, that, like, maybe someone, like, that even, like, the richest people, like, that you've attempted to steal from haven't have had.
Right.
And, like, they're just using, like, they're definitely speaking English, but it's, like, words and, like, phrases that, like, don't make sense to you.
Okay. I think the first thing Percy would do is kind of, basically search the room to see if he can find any way out. Like, that's probably what, like, as he comes to consciousness, or as he's come to consciousness, if he's done that in the past, like, he just sweeps the room, looks for any way to potentially break out.
Yeah. The only way you have seen is through the door that leads out of this city that's hidden inside the tent.
Okay. So now, am I in, like, an open area, or am I in, like, a
You're
cage,
like, you're not in a cage.
Okay.
But it's like you're like kind of in this little, like, ransacked, like, tent.
Okay.
Like, you have a bed and stuff in there, but it's like you see some of the other tents in there, but it's, like, not as nice.
Okay. So I'm kind of not really confined.
You're not confined, yeah.
Yeah, not in, like, the immediate sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'm gonna get up and just kind of, like, wander through the area, kind of to the, as far as, like, the perimeters of, like, the enclosure or whatever. Just kind of get a lay of the land, I guess.
Yeah. And so as, like, you're walking, like, you're realizing, like, the metal braziers of fire are gone, but there's, like light bulbs and, like, these noisy generators that seem to be posted all around the place that is illuminating the place, which you remember there was lights and stuff in houses and stuff, but it's just, like, you don't remember when this change has happened, where there's just like just these giant lights that are like on metal poles that are like pointed down in there. And like as you continue to walk through, like instead of cooking over like a campfire or something, like as you've seen them do in the past, like they have like smaller, like they have like grills that are hooked up to like metal tanks that are cooking the food, and just like almost like I think in the 1930s the refrigeration was like a giant ice block. I could be wrong. I might be getting my times mixed up, and I might have been really old. But it's like you see like these whatever the three-dimensional term for a rectangle is, that is like you see these boxes that like these metal boxes that they keep opening up that like have like lights in them as they pull out like food that sometimes are frozen and sometimes they're warm. You see boxes also that are playing colorful images that are flickering through through like these like just show like not shows but like just like these people that are inside this box that you're able to see. Once again, I don't know what the technology level is, but I believe a television didn't come till way later. But yeah, you just see like all these things that don't make sense, and it's like you blinked your eyes, and it's like things are the same but almost alien.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Percy's feeling, definitely more confused and kind of off step. Can I go to like the main door and like try and like walk out?
Yeah, you totally can.
Well, let's do that.
All right.
Just try and like kind of like not understanding what's going on. Like he, just Percy wants to like get out. Needs some sort of fresh air. Is just kind of wants to get away from what he doesn't understand. So kind of beelines for that door.
And we're gonna fade to black. And before we close chapter 1, I have one more little epilogue thing. We are in the mine. We hear like the tinging of metal on stone as just kind of echoing through the mine. And we realize it's the mine that that had that new branch that Caleb's father and Buck Kelly were talking about. But it's late at night, and it's warmer out. Like it's definitely like a warmer whole situation, and almost summer. You can hear the crickets chirping, but it's late, and we see a warm glow of a lantern as we hear like the grunts of someone struggling with this pickaxe, until we come in and we just see the silhouette of a large man in there alone, just hacking away at the wall. And we just hear like tink, 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 until we hear the rock kind of give away, and the light from the lantern is melted by this brilliant glow that comes out of this white, like almost crystal-like substance, as this meaty hand reaches down and pulls out this glowing rock. As the face of Carl Giuseppe is lit up, and he's like, "I've been searching for you for so long." And we fade to black. See you guys for chapter 2.
Bye.
And to absolve any confusion, yeah, John, you're gonna need a new character. I'll get you a character sheet.
Yeah.